I need to update you on a developing situation that has become significantly more serious over the last 12 hours. We are tracking a major winter storm system that will impact the eastern United States from this Friday night into Sunday morning, followed immediately by what could be the most intense Arctic outbreak of the entire winter season. Over 100 million people are in the path of this system. The combination of heavy snow, followed by record-breaking cold, creates a dangerous multi-day scenario where impacts will compound on each other. This is not a single event. This is a pattern shift that will lock much of the eastern half of the country into a sustained cold regime with multiple precipitation threats over the next 7 to 10 days. Let me start with what is happening right now. We have two distinct upper-level systems that are beginning to phase together. The first is a clipper system diving southeast out of the Great Lakes. The second is a wave of energy ejecting northeast out of the Gulf Coast region. When these two systems merge off the mid-Atlantic coast late Friday night into Saturday morning, rapid intensification is expected. We are looking at the potential for what meteorologists call bombogenesis. That means a pressure drop of at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. Some of the more aggressive model runs are showing central pressure values bottoming out near 965 millibars by Saturday afternoon. To put that in perspective, that is equivalent to a Category 2 hurricane in terms of central pressure. The difference here is that this will be a winter storm, and all of that energy will be focused on lifting moisture and generating heavy precipitation across a very large area. Confidence in the overall pattern is high. Confidence in exact placement and intensity is still increasing. I want to be very clear about that. We are roughly 72 to 96 hours out from the height of this system. That means there is still room for shifts in the track. A shift of 50 miles east or west will dramatically change who sees what type of precipitation and how much. Right now, the signal is strong enough that I am comfortable saying this will be a high-impact event for a significant portion of the eastern seaboard. I am not ready to lock in specific snowfall totals city by city, but I can tell you where the threat axis is, and I can tell you this has the potential to be a historic storm for some locations. Starting this afternoon and into tonight, we will see the first pieces of this system begin to organize. Light snow will develop across the Ohio Valley, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and Kentucky by late this afternoon. This will spread east into West Virginia and Western Virginia tonight. Accumulations during this phase will be minor. We are talking about a coating to 2 inches in most locations. This is the setup phase. The main event begins Friday night. By Friday evening, moisture will be rapidly increasing along the coast as that Gulf energy begins to interact with the clipper. Snow will overspread the Carolinas, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, southern New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania between 8 p.m. Friday and 2 a.m. Saturday. This will not be light snow. Snowfall rates will quickly ramp up to 1 to 2 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. Where those bands set up will determine who sees the jackpot totals. Right now, the best likelihood for very heavy snow appears to be from the North Carolina coast through the Virginia Tidewater region, across the Delmarva Peninsula, and into southern New Jersey. I would not be surprised to see localized amounts in excess of 18 inches in that corridor. There is an outside chance some locations approach 2 feet if banding persists and the storm tracks close enough to the coast. The dynamics of this system favor the development of what we call deformation bands. These are extremely efficient snow producers that can dump 2 to 4 inches per hour when they set up. They tend to be narrow, maybe 30 to 50 miles wide, but they are persistent. If you end up under one of these bands for 3 to 6 hours, you are looking at a foot to 18 inches of snow just from that feature alone. The challenge is we cannot pinpoint exactly where these bands will form until the storm is already underway. This is why I keep emphasizing that small changes in track will have outsized impacts on snowfall totals. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, the eastern shore of Maryland, Cape May, Atlantic City, these are all locations that could see historic snowfall if everything lines up, but they could also see significantly less if the track shifts just 40 or 50 miles. Further inland, across the Piedmont regions of the Carolinas and Virginia, and into the higher elevations of the Appalachians, we are also expecting significant snow. The uncertainty here is whether we see a period of sleet or freezing rain mix in during the height of the storm Saturday morning. If we stay cold enough, these areas could also see 12 to 18 inches. If we do see a transition to sleet, totals will be lower, but travel impacts will still be severe. Sleet creates an extremely hard, icy surface that is nearly impossible to treat and very dangerous to drive on. As we move into Saturday morning, the low will be intensifying rapidly off the coast of the Carolinas. By Saturday afternoon, the center of the storm will be near the 40 N70W benchmark, which is a meteorological reference point roughly 150 miles east-southeast of New York City. At this point, the storm will be at its peak intensity. Heavy snow will be ongoing from coastal North Carolina all the way up into New England. Boston, Providence, Hartford, and areas across interior New England could see snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour during Saturday afternoon and evening. This is the type of snow that shuts things down very quickly. New York City is in a tricky spot with this system. If the storm tracks 30 miles further east than currently modeled, the city sees mostly rain or a rain-snow mix with minor accumulation. If it tracks 30 miles further west, the city could see 8 to 12 inches. Right now, I am leaning toward a scenario where New York sees 4 to 8 inches, with higher amounts north and west of the city. The I-95 corridor from Philadelphia through Trenton to Newark will likely see similar totals. But again, small shifts matter here. I also need to mention wind. This is going to be a very intense storm system, and that means strong winds will accompany the heavy snow. Sustained winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour are expected along the coast from North Carolina through New Jersey. Gusts could reach 50 to 60 miles per hour, especially near the immediate coastline and across Cape Cod and the islands. These winds will create blizzard conditions where heavy snow is falling. Visibility will drop to near zero. Drifting will be significant. Even after the snow stops, blowing snow will continue to create hazardous conditions well into Saturday night and Sunday morning. Power outages are likely not just from ice, but from wind bringing down trees and power lines that are already weighted down by heavy wet snow. Coastal flooding is also a concern. We could see minor to moderate coastal flooding during the Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon high tide cycles from the Outer Banks through the Jersey Shore. By Saturday night, the storm will be pulling away to the northeast. Snow will begin to taper from south to north. By Sunday morning, most areas will be dry, though some lingering snow showers may persist across northern New England and Maine through Sunday afternoon. At this point, the storm itself will be done, but the impacts will just be beginning. Behind this system, we are going to see an Arctic air mass pour south with extraordinary intensity. This is where the situation becomes particularly dangerous. We are not just talking about cold air. We are talking about record-threatening cold across a huge portion of the country. And we are talking about prolonged cold, not just a 1 or 2 day shot. By Sunday morning, temperatures across the southeast will crash into the teens and low 20s. Cities like Atlanta, Charlotte, and Raleigh will wake up to temperatures in the mid to upper teens. Wind chills will be in the single digits. This is the same region that just dealt with a crippling ice storm days ago. Thousands of people are still without power in parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas. For those areas, this cold is not just uncomfortable, it is life-threatening. By Monday morning, the core of the coldest air will settle over the Ohio Valley and the Mid-Atlantic. Morning lows across Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia will be near or below zero in many locations. Wind chills will be 10 to 20 below zero. Cities like Pittsburgh, Harrisburg, and Charleston, West Virginia could see actual air temperatures drop to 5 below zero or colder. This is some of the coldest air this region has seen in years. What makes this particularly concerning is the duration. This is not a quick shot of cold that moderates in a day or two. High temperatures on Monday across much of the mid-Atlantic and southeast will struggle to get above freezing. In some areas, high temperatures may only reach the low to mid-20s. That means any snow or ice on the ground from the weekend storm will not melt. Roads that are impassable Saturday night will still be impassable Monday afternoon. Tuesday will be similarly cold. Wednesday will offer little relief. It will not be until Thursday that we start to see any meaningful moderation. And even then, temperatures will only be climbing back to near normal, not above normal. This means we are looking at a 5 to 7 day period where much of the eastern United States remains locked in a deep freeze. And we are not done yet. As we head into next weekend, February 1st and 2nd, there are signals for additional snow potential. This is still too far out to have high confidence, but the overall pattern supports the idea that moisture could interact with the lingering cold air to produce another round of snow, potentially affecting areas from the Ohio Valley back down into the Tennessee Valley and even the Gulf Coast. The models are not in agreement on this yet. Some are showing a significant system, others are showing just flurries. I will be monitoring this closely over the next 48 hours, but it is something to be aware of. Let me summarize the timeline one more time because this is complicated and it is critical that you understand what is coming. Tonight through early Friday, light snow develops across the Ohio Valley. Friday night into Saturday morning, heavy snow overspreads the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour are likely in the heaviest bands. Saturday afternoon and evening, the storm peaks in intensity off the coast. Snow continues heavily from the Carolinas through New England. By Sunday morning, snow tapers off, but brutally cold air moves in. Sunday through Wednesday, dangerously cold temperatures persist with little to no moderation. Next weekend, another potential snow threat develops. Details still uncertain. In terms of snowfall, here is where I think we end up, but please understand this can still change. North Carolina coast and Outer Banks, 12 to 20 inches. Virginia Tidewater and Eastern Shore, 15 to 24 inches. Delmarva Peninsula, 12 to 20 inches. Southern New Jersey, 10 to 18 inches. Philadelphia and suburbs, 6 to 12 inches. New York City, 4 to 8 inches. Interior New England, 10 to 18 inches. Coastal New England, including Boston, 8 to 14 inches. These are broad ranges because exact placement of the heaviest bands is still uncertain. The bottom line is this: we are looking at a major winter storm followed by a dangerous and prolonged Arctic outbreak. This is not hype. This is a serious weather situation that requires preparation and attention. If you are in the path of this storm, you need to have supplies ready. If you lose power during or after this storm, you need to have a plan for staying warm. This is especially critical for anyone still dealing with power outages from the previous storm. Check on neighbors, check on elderly family members. Make sure everyone has what they need. I will continue to update you as this system develops. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe.